Hello, this is the story of Tommy Jones, the boy who never brushed his teeth. Tommy Jones was 4 and a very big boy. He loved chocolate, toffees, sugar and sweets. Every day he came to school with the biggest bag of sweets and goodies ever seen. Tommy Jones was always hungry, and when the other kids asked him for a sweet, Tommy would say, "Leave me alone! These are mine! They're my sweeties and only for me. My mummy said I can't share them with anybody, so there." Tommy loved his goodies, and one day Charles, who had no goodies of his own and was really starving, walked up to Tommy Jones and said, "Tommy, can I have a sweet, please?" Well, Tommy looked at Charles and shouted, "These are my sweets, not yours, and I want you to know they are mine, so get lost." Then he shoved a huge handful of sweets into his mouth, so his face was bulging and he couldn't talk. As you can see, Tommy wasn't the nicest boy, and Charles knew this. In fact, all the children in the school knew about Tommy Jones. Every morning he would come to school with a huge bag of sweets, toffees, chocolates and sugary drinks under his arms, and he would run off to a corner to the playground, all alone, and would stuff himself full of sweets. If anybody came near to ask him for a sweet, Tommy would try to kick them and hide his sweets. But what really made Tommy Jones unpopular was the fact that after he had scoffed all his goodies, he would walk up to the other kids and beg them to give him their sweets also. When he went home from school, instead of playing football with his pals or hide and seek, Tommy would look for food in the kitchen. Now, Tommy's mum was a very nice lady, but she never said no to Tommy. So when it was bedtime, Tommy's mum would say, "Come along, Tommy, brush your teeth." Tommy screamed at his mum, "No, I'm not brushing my teeth, leave me alone." And he ran into his bedroom where he locked the door and gobbled up a piece of chocolate cake before he fell asleep. Now you can imagine what was happening inside Tommy's mouth whilst he was asleep. His teeth were coated in sugar, and soon the sugar started to make lots of holes in Tommy's teeth. They also began to change colour, and instead of being white, they started to turn yellow. When he woke up in the morning, instead of having toast or cornflakes or porridge for his breakfast, Tommy wailed to his mum, "Wah! I want toffees, 'cause I'm so hungry." So Tommy's poor mum gave him what he wanted, and Tommy chuckled as he chomped on a box of chocolates for his breakfast. As usual, Tommy came to school with his huge supply of goodies, and as usual, he would not share one teeny tiny sweet with any of the other children. At lunchtime, when the children sat down to eat their sandwiches and apples and even salad, Tommy would open up his lunchbox, and it was filled with pear drops, jam tarts, sugar butties, and more chocolate bars, which he crunched and munched upon loudly until they were all gone. Then he smiled, showing his yellow teeth. The next day, when the children were in school, Tommy and Charles were sitting together and they were drawing pictures and colouring them with crayons. Tommy was hungry, and suddenly he started to eat the crayons. Charles said to Tommy, "Don't do that, Tommy." But Tommy wasn't listening, and he chewed up the crayon. When Tommy talked, there was green crayon all over his teeth. "Yuck," said Charles. When Tommy woke up the next day, his mum saw how his teeth were filthy, and now they were turning green. "Please brush your teeth, Tommy," said his mum. Tommy didn't listen, and just kept eating more sugary stuff. A few days later, Tommy Jones was drawing again, and he sat next to Lulu, a nice girl who always brushed her teeth. Tommy liked Lulu and smiled at her. When Lulu saw Tommy's green teeth, she said, "Tommy, why are your teeth green?" And just as Tommy was about to explain to Lulu, she suddenly cried, "Oh! What a horrible smell!" It was Tommy's breath. It stunk like rotten eggs, and Lulu moved away from Tommy. Tommy didn't like having smelly breath. So when he went home, he looked in a mirror and saw that his teeth were now turning brown. At bedtime, when Tommy should have been brushing his teeth, once again he sneaked past the bathroom and slid into bed. That night, Tommy fell into a deep sleep, and soon he started to dream. He dreamt that he was in school and he was talking to Lulu. He saw Lulu's face as she looked at his horrible teeth. Just then, Tommy felt something fall out of his mouth. His teeth were dropping out onto the desk. When Tommy looked down, his teeth had turned to brown pebbles. Tommy was so shocked, he screamed out loudly, and suddenly he was awake. At that moment, he jumped out of bed, ran to the bathroom, and looked in the mirror. His teeth were still there. They hadn't fallen out, but they were still dirty. He picked up his toothbrush, and with a big lump of toothpaste, Tommy brushed his teeth. At breakfast time, Tommy shocked his mum by asking for porridge to eat. Then at school, the dentist came to talk to the class about why brushing your teeth and not eating too much sugar was very important for children. Tommy also started to eat healthy food, and he even began to share his goodies with the other children. Tommy's mum took him to see the dentist, and Tommy's teeth were given a good old clean. He even had 2 fillings. When he finished, he bought a smart new toothbrush and nice minty toothpaste. Soon Tommy's teeth had turned from brown to green, and now they were yellow, and after 1 month they were nice and white and shiny, and most of all, he didn't smell nasty, just a clean minty smell, and Lulu and Charles liked sitting next to Tommy Jones again. The end.